He grabbed him by the hair and slid a knife out from his military boot and pressed it against his throat. Brock demanded money and tossed Scudder onto the mattress. He cut strips of pin cloth from the sheets and bound Scudder to his heavy coat.
Welcome to the local Gayliens, where things get weird and things stay weird. I'm Brandon.
I'm Ashten, and I don't know what the fuck that was.
I'm just new boo goofing.
We're a paranormal podcast, and we talk about the paranormal things, but because it's Pride Month,
Gay!
we're talking about gays, ghostly gays,
Yay!
ghostly paranormal happenings.
Homosexuality, rainbows.
Yeah.
Yay!
But today, we're talking about a gay murder.
Gay murder. Wait, was the gay doing the murdering?
I'll let you decide.
Oh, shit.
I'll let you decide.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, like, gay murder, I mean, let's be real. We know you all were taking our people out for a while, so.
Yeah.
I just want to, like,
There's a few things that could be left up to interpretation.
Okay. Oh, I'm excited. It's almost like a little mystery.
Yeah. I mean, the murder is not a mystery.
Right. But
like, who's gay and who's not?
Ooh, period.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I like to solve crimes, so.
Yeah. So, these are called the Corpsewood Murders.
Ew.
Have you heard of it?
No, but first of all, Corpsewood?
Yeah.
Is this the name of the town?
Yeah. Well, it's not like a town, it's like where the house was.
Oh, that's a weird name.
Which it got its name because during the wintertime when all the leaves were gone on the trees just looked like dead corpses, and so that's literally why they named it Corpsewood.
Work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, but just you wait.
Oh, God, I'm so ready.
Just you wait.
I'm so excited.
Okay. So, in Taylor Ridge in the southern Appalachian Mountains, memories haunting the landscape can still be felt by those daring enough to venture deep into the wilderness. We love Appalachia.
We do. Appalachia's, dude, outside of even ghosties, Appalachia be wild.
Yeah. So, ghosts have wandered the woods in Chattahoochee National Forest for over 40 years. 2 lost souls stand guard over the ruins of the Corpsewood Mansion.
Oh, okay.
So, Dr. Charles Scudder was the widowed father of 4 boys living in Chicago's West Side. He was a professor of pharmacology at Loyola University, specializing in, let's see if I can do this, psychopharmacology.
Yeah,
which was the study of the effect of drugs on the human mind.
Yeah, that sounds, you did amazing.
Yeah.
Look at that. Big words, too. Bitch.
So, yeah, he was a smart dude.
Love that. He said, I'm a genius.
Yeah. Later in his life, he was living with his 2 dogs and a man named Joseph Odom, who he had met 17 years prior.
Huh.
Remember, he was widowed. He wasn't a cheating man.
Yeah,
okay?
no.
Yeah.
But then, after, when he was widowed.
His true colors.
Yeah. When he was
out.
widowed, he just couldn't see himself loving another woman.
Or he was just gay the whole time, and he finally was like, thank God.
Yeah.
Oh,
God, yeah.
I don't have to marry again.
Oh, man. I can be done with women.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
So, Joseph was described by friends as feminine and quiet, although he has previously lived a very turbulent life. Oh, wait. Yeah. So Joseph is the man that he had met 17 years prior.
But Joseph is the one that's, like, feminine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. He had some trouble with the law after dropping out of school in 5th grade. But for almost 2 decades, he has been a loyal companion and housekeeper to Scudder. He helped raise his children and cooked meals fit for a king.
The same.
So,
Good.
housewife.
I feel like
He was a
I
housewife.
am very much Joseph.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
Coming in, taking care of the kids.
I'm the wife.
Yeah.
You just wifed me up.
Yes.
Like, that's period.
Yes.
I'm going to do the cooking. I'm going to do the cleaning. I'm going to do the kids. Don't ask me why, but that's how my brain chemistry works, and that's what I like to, that's how I show love.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Scudder began dreaming of escaping to the countryside, especially when the university politics became unsettling. They didn't say what the university politics were, but we all know how the word works.
Yeah, we know how that goes. They were trying to protect
So,
the university.
Yeah.
Trash.
He felt the convenience of modern life didn't justify the stress and chaos in his world. Relatable.
Right. Same.
An inheritance had fallen into his lap during the mid-1970s, I think, from, like, his mother. And while the monthly stipend was far from luxurious, it would be enough to scrape by with a simpler lifestyle. So the duo decided that their lives would be better far away from the modern world. Scudder searched for property until he happened upon 40 acres along Taylor Ridge in northern Georgia.
And it probably cost him like $20.
Yeah. As soon as he found this perfect piece of land, he returned home, purchased the land, and resigned from his department position on his 50th birthday.
Yeah, he said, I'm retiring on 48 acres I paid $200 for.
Yeah. After the two sold the house and their belongings, they headed back to the plot of land and began their new life.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
The gays.
So, another cute little gay cozy
At this point are
story.
they like,
well, that's the thing. Like,
it's
we
just
all
hinted
know.
at?
We all
Yeah.
know, but like they never straight up are like they were a couple.
Right, because of the
Because-
times.
God forbid
Yeah.
someone's actually gay and we admit it.
What happens when two men kiss? The world ends.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
there were like things going on that like very much so.
They were like,
And that's the
okay.
thing is I'm like, y'all know this funny business is happening. Just call it what it is. Why are we
Yeah.
acting like gay
It's
is like
giant
a disease?
mystery disease, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't cook, I don't clean, but I don't mind me, you know?
Mm,
That's what
yeah.
he said. That's what Joseph said. He's like, listen,
He does cook and clean.
I
though.
do cook, I do clean.
Let me
and
tell you how I
decide-
got this ring.
Yeah, that's how.
Yeah.
He's a little feminine.
Yeah.
What they meant to say was he was a twink. No.
Yeah.
They said with his little twink ass.
Yeah. And Scudder was the bear.
Yeah, Scudder was like,
Yeah.
I'm daddy.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
He was zaddy.
Yeah, and then little Joseph over there, he's like, ew.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, look at me, I'm plowing the yard.
In my short shorts.
Yeah, I'm gonna bake a cake later. And then you're gonna eat this cake.
So the first day they got back, they were greeted at the Oh yeah, okay. So this is where the names get crazy.
I'm
okay?
ready. I love a good name.
So yeah, when they first got back to their new plot of land, they were greeted at the entrance of their new driveway by a dead carcass of a horse,
Mm.
which they were like, "Oh, let's name this trail Dead Horse Road." In Corpsewood.
Fair.
They came up with these names themselves.
I love it. They're just like, we're just gonna make it a joke.
Their temporary living quarters were just like a camper that they had brought with them from Chicago. And over a 2-year period, they slowly built their brick mansion on the mountain. Like, brick by brick, did it themselves.
Okay, gay ingenuity.
Yeah.
I could never. Look me in the fucking face right now through this screen. Future husband, I could never.
Yeah, so even though Joseph was a little twink,
He said, I'm a handy
he a little
man.
handy man.
I can decorate, but I'm building.
Yeah. Which is, yeah, they were serious. They were like, we are leaving Chicago. We are living a simple life. We are building things with our hands.
Fuck yes.
Yeah.
I'm so into it. I'm kind of turned on.
Yeah. Life as a pioneer was simple and sweet, and the monthly income from their joint savings account provided just enough for them to survive off of.
Yeah, that's hot.
They grew most of their own food and relied on small kerosene refrigerator and a wood-burning stove for their culinary needs. They also had a small vineyard on the property that also produced grapes to create wine that they would share with their friends and visitors. Yeah, they just had a whole little homestead.
I'm in love with this.
Yeah.
My reason being is they still had struggles, and I love that because, like, that's my whole thing. I was like, I want to struggle with someone. You know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong. I want us to be comfortable.
Like, was it a struggle though?
Well, yeah, because they still had to like build and everything. Like, they weren't just rich enough to.
They were like, we would rather do this than
right.
be in the grind in Chicago.
Right, but what I mean is they weren't like overly rich. They still had to like, you know,
they were humble.
Yeah, and I love that. Like, that's so hot to me. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to like. Don't get me wrong. I would love to have more money, but like, I don't feel like I want to be like filthy fucking rich. Mm-hmm. I just want to be like wealthy enough that like me and my partner can, you know, live life, and we still struggle a little bit, but it's not like are we going to be able to eat this week struggle? You know what I mean? I think that's hot.
Well, you don't have to question it when you grow your own food.
Yeah, and I see that's so hot to me.
Yeah,
my nipples are hard.
Homesteading bear.
Yeah. Yeah. Or something. I don't like labels.
But that's what you want.
I don't like labels.
A 3-story chicken house was constructed near the house.
Okay, and maybe they're not struggling.
The top floor, called the Pink Room, served as a socializing area for guests and the occasional sexual rendezvous. So yeah, we know they were gay. Yeah. Things seemed to be perfect for the pair until 2 strangers entered their world, and the solitude would end forever.
Forever.
Yes.
I know what you're doing.
November of 1982. So like this honestly wasn't that long ago.
82?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
We're not actually living in the pioneer days. They just wanted to be pioneers and homesteaders. You thought I was talking about
I'm
the
back
1800s?
here in like 1800s. I'm like, this is illegal. They're gonna die.
No.
You're over here like
it was during the AIDS epidemic.
That's rough. Yeah, that was scary. There's some movies we could tell you. Woo.
Yeah.
Watch if you want a good cry.
Yeah.
That was literally 7 years before I was born. I'm gonna kill myself.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, how have I never heard of this story?
My mom was like a teen during.
I wonder if your mom would know anything about this.
Probably not. She's Kentucky.
Yeah, but that's not that far from Georgia.
Far.
Yeah, maybe.
It's like that might as well have been on the other side of the fucking planet.
True, and it's not like
it's not like 2025.
People still like got their news from the newspaper.
Yeah, there was no Googles.
Yeah. Okay, so November of 1982, Kenneth Avery Brock moved into the Halls Valley trailer of a 30-year-old unemployed construction worker named Samuel Tony West. So Brock and West were little friends hanging out together, but Brock was a 17-year-old part-time truck driver. So his little friend Westy was a 30-year-old. Brock was a little 17-year-old. Yeah. Anyway. Brock first met the couple while hunting deer on their property. He befriended them and spent many occasions drinking their homemade wine. There are 2 stories, so we don't know which one's which, but it is hard to say which case is true.
I know where
the
this is going.
relationship between the 3 escalated to become intimately involved, but there's also another speculation that Brock, the 17-year-old, attempted to initiate a threesome and then they denied it. So we don't actually know if there was like a sexual relationship between the 3, but we do know that the other 2 hosted sexual rendezvous in the Pink House.
Yeah.
So
it'd be like a foursome.
No, a threesome. West wasn't involved in that.
Oh, he was like, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was living with Brock, so. Scudder and Odom's relaxed demeanor and effortless existence gave Brock the false impression that they stockpiled an immense fortune. Yeah, so I think Brock was like, oh, here's these two guys just living their fucking life, making their own wine. Like, they gotta be rich. Like, who would do this if they didn't have money,
you know? Money. It's a rich people thing.
Yeah. So Brock convinced Tony West, the guy he was living with, to rob the couple and run away. Once they had hatched this plan, Brock's friendship with them took a whole new meaning. So, in November of 1982, he would visit the mansion several times in an attempt to study the layout of the house.
Of course.
Unfortunately for him, his encounters with the two would be limited to the pink room. And he was never granted entry into their living quarters. So, like, when they had people over, it was just the pink room.
You're just going to the pink room,
It was above the chicken coop.
Yeah, we're not showing you our house.
Yeah. On the evening of December 12th, the plan was set into motion. Brock made a stop at his mother's trailer to pick up a .22 caliber Remington automatic rifle. They stopped to visit their friend Joey Wells and offered to take him and his date Teresa Hudgens out for a joyride. Which, this is, like, weird to me because I'm like, why are you, like, bringing these randos along?
Alibi. Creating an alibi. I watch a lot of murder mystery. Creating an alibi.
I mean, alibi, but at the same time, like, if you're all going to these guys' house, that means you're all there.
Right, but then it's also like, why would you
like
invite
witnesses.
us and then kill someone? That doesn't make sense.
Or also maybe witnesses, like, even if they did see it happen, they'll claim that they didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Or, because, I mean, at that point, it's like, okay, if he was going to kill these men or rob them, why would they pick us up? So it's almost like creating that illusion of, like, I wasn't going to rob them. I wouldn't have picked up my friends.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got to think like a...
Clearly, I'm not in the business to be robbing people.
I'm just saying, all I'm saying is I've studied this shit because I wanted to be a psychology major.
Okay.
I did. I wanted to be, oh my God, I wanted to be so bad.
Did you want to study, like, serial killers?
Yeah, I really wanted to be I wanted to do CSI work. Like, I wanted to so bad because I wanted to solve mysteries.
Yeah.
But then I realized, like, I'm too empathetic.
Yeah.
And I can't, that's a hard job to do with a lot of empathy.
When the show Bones came on, I, like, convinced myself for, like, a period of time that I was gonna, like, do what she did and, like, study Bones.
We did in school, we did that whole, like, segment on, like, you did, like, the DNA testing and stuff. Like, you were basically a CSI agent. And I fucking dove in head first.
That's cool.
And it was only a week long, and I was so sad when it was over. I was like, that's the best thing we've done all year.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's fun, though. So, West and Brock suggested that they visit Corpsewood, where the couple, where, we're starting this sentence over.
You're good.
I put they couple lived, that's why.
Where they couple lived.
Okay, so after they picked up their little friends that were on a little date, West and Brock suggested that they visit Corpsewood, where the couple lived, to drink some of their wine, so kind of like a little pregame. And on their way, they inhaled a concoction of paint thinner, alcohol, and glue. And this concoction was called a Toodaloo. So
that's what they named the concoction. They said, Toodaloo, bitch.
Yeah, they was getting fucked up. They're like, let's have some Toodaloo to say Toodaloo.
Yeah, they said, we getting fucked
Yeah.
up. And then we're going to go rob these fuckers.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, the couple they picked up literally, like, had no idea that any of this was even a plan.
Yeah, because the couple that they picked up is just like, I thought we were just like...
Yeah, they're like, oh, you guys want to take us somewhere to get free alcohol? Fuck yeah.
I didn't realize we were doing poppers.
Yeah. So Scudder greeted his unannounced visitors, because obviously they didn't know they were coming over. The four of them plus Scudder made their way to the pink room, while Odom finished cleaning up the kitchen since they had just finished their dinner.
Aww.
Wine was passed around, and shortly after, Brock stepped out to the car to get more of the glue that they were sniffing. He reappeared with his rifle minutes later, returning to his seat on the mattress. So literally this room is just mattresses. A hangout.
It's a little sex pile.
But yeah, he just like walks in with this fucking gun, and they're all just like,
wow, that's normal. Yeah.
yeah. So when Scudder to
Skeleton. When Skeleton.
When Scudder stood to adjust a lantern, Brock leapt into action. He grabbed him by the hair and slid a knife out from his military boot and pressed it against his throat. Brock demanded money and tossed Scudder onto the mattress. He cut strips of pin cloth from the sheets and bound Scudder to his heavy coat. In his heavy coat. West and his date were terrified and ran to the car, but the engine wouldn't start. So they were about to be like, see ya.
Horror movie.
And then the engine wouldn't start. But also, I'm like, you brought the gun in with you, and then you, like, grab him by his hair and hold a knife to him and, like, tie him down. Like, why don't you just hold the gun up and say, bro, I'm gonna shoot you if you don't give me your money.
Yeah, don't move or I'll shoot you.
Yeah. I don't know his thinking. He was 17, though. His brain was not fully developed yet.
No, he's just having a good time, it sounds like.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's like, I'm going to fuck you up. I want to have fun with this.
Yeah. So Odom was interrupted, and, so Odin's in the kitchen, like, cleaning up after dinner. Brock interrupts him and is ordering him out of the house. He looked up towards the doorway as Brock fired 4 rounds into him. And then he also shot their dogs. Monster.
The 17-year-old just killed this person and then killed their dog?
Yeah. While Scudder is still up in the pink room, like, tied
Tied up.
Yeah. Which I'm like, why would you not threaten him and ask him for the money, too?
Yeah, that's so sad.
So I think he just, like...
He just wanted to kill
Okay,
him.
I'll tell you my theory at the end of this. I have a theory.
Okay.
So Brock then led Scudder into the house where he saw his deceased lover and dogs. West asked Brock to stop, but he shot Scudder in the face at close range and then shot him 4 more times. West and Brock ransacked the house, searching for the hidden fortune that they would obviously never find. They left with only a handful of dimes and nickels, bits of jewelry, and a gold-plated dagger. And Scudder also, like, played the harp, and he had, like, a golden harp, but, like, that was, like, too big for them to carry, so they had to leave that behind. And then the 4 fled the scene within 2 hours of arriving. And right before Scudder was shot in the face, he said, and I quote, "I asked for this." So what does that mean exactly? We don't know. But months before the incident, Charles Scudder painted a self-portrait that implies he may have had a premonition of his own death. In the painting, Scudder was gagged and had 5 bullet wounds. Isn't
That's
that crazy?
Wild.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay, I'll tell you my theory before we get more into it. I think that Brock wanted something more with these men. They didn't. He was butthurt. And so then he's like, oh, let me convince West that we're going to rob them. But really, I think he just wanted to fucking kill them.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. He just wanted to kill them.
Yeah.
It wasn't really about the money. That was going to be, like, the bonus. But, like...
and it was kind of like his little excuse to, like, get West to, like, agree to do it with him.
Mm-hmm. My theory was maybe there was some kind of confrontation we don't know about, and they were going to tell people that he was gay. Or something like that, and he didn't want that out and killed them.
That too.
Because they knew he was, like, part of their, like, secret, like, gay stuff.
Yeah.
You know? And he was like, I don't want it ever to get out, so I'm just going to have to kill them.
Yeah. Crazy.
That's wild.
Yeah.
That makes me sad.
I know.
Because they were just having people over.
Yeah, they were, like, they had nothing to their name. They were fucking sharing wine with you that they grew themselves.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 days later, Raymond Williams, one of their friends, visited the couple to notify them of another friend's passing. He noticed bullet holes in the green kitchen door and called the police, and both Brock and West were apprehended. During his interrogation, West said, "All I can say is they were devils and I killed them. That's how I feel about it." As the trial went underway, Scudder and Odom were labeled homosexual devil worshippers, and being that they were so reclusive made them easy targets for bigotry and hate. While the victims did possess some occult items and satanic artifacts, their religious beliefs did not affect their character. So, like, regardless of any of this, because I think that was, like, the excuse that Brock used when West is like, why are you hanging out with these gay men?
Right.
Brock would basically just, like, talk shit about them to West. Because Scudder, one of them, I don't remember which one, had, like, gone to a satanic church once.
Yeah.
But I don't, if anyone knows anything about, like, satanic churches, like, they're not actually devil worshippers. They're more, like, atheists.
Yeah.
But, of course, like, people have this whole thing that they're, like, the occult and blah, 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 blah. And so I think also, like, them being gay just added this extra, like, mystery to them where people were just, like...
But he wasn't, like, telling West that he was going to the pink room with them, right?
Probably not.
Yeah, that's probably what it was, because he was probably going back to West and being like, they're disgusting, blah, 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 we got to do something about this, while also having sex with them in, like, a three-way. But, like, he doesn't want to admit to that because he's ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Because society back then, you know? So he's ashamed of it. So he's convinced now West to help him kill these two because they're evil.
Because they're just wealthy devil worshippers.
And they didn't want
homos.
And they didn't want a relationship with him.
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. We've solved the crime.
It's always an in the closet man that commits the murder against a gay person. Yeah.
But Brock attempted suicide while he was behind bars, most likely from the guilt of what he had done.
Boo-hoo.
Yeah. The trial resulted in a conviction on all counts and was sentenced to 3 consecutive life terms.
Period.
He's currently serving out his life sentence in Georgia State Prison. And
still?
Yeah. I mean, this happened in the 80s.
Right.
He's, like, in his, like, 50s or something now. He was 17 in the 80s. Okay, he's not in his 50s.
No.
Maybe he is in his 50s.
40, 50, early 60s.
Oh, 60s, okay.
Like, probably like 63, 64.
Yeah. So he's still serving out his sentence in prison.
Good.
West was similarly convicted of the double homicide and sentenced to die in the electric chair, which, like, Brock was the one who actually killed them. West participated. Yeah, so, like, I was like, maybe it's just because of his age.
Probably.
But the death decree was repealed, and he's currently serving a life sentence at Augusta State Medical Prison. So I'm assuming West is probably, like, 90s.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad he's rotting in prison.
Yeah. So Odom's ashes were scattered in the rose garden near the mansion, and Scudder's body was taken back to his hometown in Milwaukee, Wisconsin to be buried, which makes me really sad because they were, so like,
pulled them apart.
Lovers.
They separated them.
Yeah. What remains of the mansion today is a few fragments of masonry wall and stone. Subsequent fires and other vandalistic acts have reduced the home to a skeletal frame and rubble, and there are many who believed it is now occupied by the dead.
Why do people always want to burn down these beautiful, like, homes?
Yeah.
This is the story you were going to tell me about back when I was talking about this house that burned down.
Yeah.
Remember? And you were like, no, oh no, because you thought it was the same story.
Yeah.
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 Now I get it.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, oh, this is what you thought I was talking about when I was talking about Gore Orphanage.
Yeah.
You were like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yes. That is so fucking sad.
Yeah. So now we'll get into the little ghost details. For those who take a small souvenir from the ruins, bad luck has followed. So take this as a warning.
Don't take shit from dead people.
Yeah. One visitor reportedly exhumed some mountain laurel from the property, a plant, and planted it in his garden. His family was suddenly plagued with a wave of illness until the man unearthed the plant and burned them. Intruders who have removed bricks as keepsakes have suffered from car accidents. Locals believe the artifacts have been cursed by the previous occupants who toiled to construct their dream home.
Period.
And then I found a Reddit story where he says, a buddy of mine and I took a Jeep up there around 2006. It was creepy. He stole a brick from the foundation, the foundation. And on the way out, the radio was acting up. Then the Jeep just died. I told him to throw the brick out. We both thought it was the reason for the electrical problems in the Jeep. We didn't want to be stranded up there as it was getting dark. Nope. Fuck that.
I would pass that. I'd pass out.
Yeah.
I'd be like, we're fucking dead.
But I'm also just like, why is there so much, like, I mean, obviously a murder happened, so that's just a lot of, like,
well, and if they're still there,
traumatic
though, maybe
energy.
that's them saying,
But I'm like, is that them being like, no one can chill on our property anymore?
well,
Or,
yeah,
like,
they're probably like, guests aren't welcome because the last guest they had killed them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're
Yeah.
coming and stealing their shit, which was what those other people were going to do.
Yeah, that's true.
So maybe they're just like, they're protecting their ground.
Yeah.
Like they're standing their ground.
Tales of various sights and sounds have been reported by sightseers and paranormal investigators over the past 2 decades. Mysterious shadows and apparitions wander the forest, allegedly the spirits of both Scudder and Odom. Gunshots echo among the prominent peas, accompanied by the sound of shattering glass replaying the horrifying events of that night. The glowing eyes of Beelzebub, one of the English mastiffs, has been witnessed in the darkness of the woods late at night. His barks are heard out in the middle of nowhere.
No.
No. If I saw glowing eyes, even if it's just like a sweet little doggy
Nope.
ghost, no. Last but not least, sounds of Scudder playing his harp have been reported.
That'd fuck me up.
So there's like a lot of activity there.
That was a very like, there was a lot of trauma there. And when you
Yeah.
think about it too, like even the secret love relationship, like that was probably traumatic because they had to keep it a secret for most people. So yeah, I mean, I understand there's a lot of like,
Yeah.
aww.
And then I found one other Reddit
I hate
story.
they were murdered.
Yeah.
I hate that they were murdered.
It says, I didn't feel scared at the sight, but I felt sadness for sure. There were 2 strange things, though. One was sound carried in a different way. I was with 4 people, and we all were close, yet there were times when even if I would yell or raise my voice, people not far away at all could not hear me.
Ew.
Nor I them. Also, once you get a little way down Dead Horse Road, closer to the water, the bird sounds go away. Ordinarily, birds will warn each other of a stranger's presence. That didn't happen in this place. It was eerily silent and simultaneously difficult to hear all at the same time.
Ew, almost like their death created like a
Almost
time
like there's
warp.
like no echo.
Like like it created like a time ripple or
Yeah.
something. Ew, that's so
Yeah.
weird.
And that's my story.
I hate that they were murdered. That makes me
I
sad.
know.
But like, good for them for living their lives happily. Like for most of it.
Mm-hmm.
That just sucks that they were murdered.
Yeah.
That's sad. And by a
No.
bitch who's now rotting in prison.
Getting all the D he probably wants.
Yeah. Now he's probably out of the closet. Yeah. But at that point, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. You're trash.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're rotting.
Yeah.
I'm glad they never retried that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We hear
Ah,
music.
it's the harp.
Oh God.
Oh my God. I said, you talking shit?
What if it was?
Oh God. Well, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
And we love hearing your ghost stories. So send them to us at the local Gayliens at outlook.com. And the gayer, the better.
Yes, make them gay.
Yeah. Hashtag pride.
I don't care what it says. I'm going to read it.
Yeah.
But until then, keep it
Keep it
spooky. You said, oh yeah, give it
I had a
a
stroke.
Give
I
it
was
a
like,
spooky.
Okay, bye.
Bye.